there are not people to fill those jobs, and the skills are not there for the jobs of the 21st century. You talk to businesses, big and small, all across the region, they say the exact same thing. The biggest problem businesses have today in St. Louis, they do not have enough qualified workers. So last week or so, I got an email, and these guys wanted to come on and talk about it. Chris Mallow, Director of Standard Products with Watlow. Chris, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Also, Don Pohl is with us, Executive Vice President of Rankin Tech. Good morning, Don. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
And you admitted off the air that you are a Farmer Dave listener.
You know, I listen to Farmer Dave every morning.
All
yes.
right, Farmer Dave, there's the one guy. I found the one guy who listens to the show. Chris, I drive by Watlow World Headquarters?
World Headquarters.
Right there at Westport.
Yep.
Every single day. You've just redone the World Headquarters, a giant expansion. I have absolutely no idea what your company does.
Okay, we are a third-generation privately held company based in St. Louis, and we engineer and manufacture advanced thermal systems. So people think about heating and cooling. They think about furnaces in their house. We're not making those kinds of products.
Right.
We're really focused on really technically challenging applications like the manufacture of semiconductor chips. Or if you ever go into a hospital and see a neonatal unit, there's incubators that help premature babies. We make advanced products that support kind of medical devices, energy processing, clean air. So really technically challenging applications that require a lot of engineering expertise.
And you've been doing this for 3 generations?
We are approaching our 100th anniversary in 4 years.
One of the best kept secrets in St. Louis, I bet.
I think so, yeah. It is. We are a global company, but so we have a large reach in terms of having facilities all over the world.
Right.
But I think we are based or foundationally tied to St. Louis.
Right there at Page and 270 at your World Headquarters, what do you do there? Do you manufacture things there? Is that just paperwork there? What's going on?
So, nope, it's 3 main things. So it is our corporate headquarters, so we have that function. It is our main research and development facility, so we do a lot of advanced research on technologies that we plan on incorporating in the future. And we also have a manufacturing location at the facility
so
as well.
You do, it is a manufacturing
Yep.
plant right there in Westport.
Yep.
And you've, 100 years, it's a great story. You're looking for workers.
We are looking for workers.
Are you begging for workers?
Yeah, we are not desperate, but it is definitely a challenge to find the workers that we need to be successful. We are fortunate we are growing, so we're a 100-year business, but we're still growing.
Right.
That's creating a need for us. We also have the baby boomer generation, and they are approaching retirement. So we've got this problem kind of on both ends where we're looking to hire to handle the growth, and we're trying to backfill for the retirees. And then third, we see the job skills requiring more and more technology and STEM-related knowledge. And so those 3 things are really a challenge for us. And we probably started working, I'll say 6 years ago, trying to aggressively address the problem. And I think we're starting to come up with a solution that we think is going to work for us.
Don Pohl, Executive Vice President of Rankin Tech. Is this a common problem with businesses here in St. Louis? This
is a common problem. We've been here since 1907. We're here to prepare students to go to work in technical career fields. 22% of the workforce is 55 years or older.
Mm-hmm.
And the middle skills, you know, they take jobs and they classify them as low skills. Those are jobs that require a high school diploma or less.
Mm-hmm.
Middle skills, which require more than a high school diploma but less than a 4-year university.
Right.
And then high skills, which is a 4-year university degree or higher. And 55% of those jobs sitting out there right now unfilled are middle skills, and that's where we are, and that's where companies like Watlow are looking.
Rankin Jordan started, you said, almost 100 years ago, right?
Rankin Technical
Rankin
College.
Tech, right? And that was a lot of hands-on stuff, right? But I mean, you've had to change with the times because the businesses need different skills.
We have. So as you said, 1907. What we do is we talk to industry on a regular basis and ask them point blank, what do our graduates need to be able to do to go to work for you?
Mm-hmm.
What do they need to do to be successful, not only in technical skills, but in general education and work ethic skills, which are so important because they want employees who are technically competent, but who can also read, write, and communicate, show up to work, have a professional attitude, positive attitude and approach, respect for workplace structure.
Yeah. So you're begging for people too.
We absolutely are. What happens is we can't fulfill our mission of preparing those students to go to work for Watlow if we don't have that pipeline coming into Rankin to prepare those students.
There is a stigma with technical jobs, right? Jobs working with your hands. It's unfortunate because you can make not only a nice living working for your hands, but you can become a millionaire and live a very, very comfortable lifestyle being a technical graduate of Rankin and or working with your hands in these types of jobs.
Absolutely, and you're going to find out that those factories, if you tour a Watlow or any of the other manufacturing facilities, it's not the dirty factory that you saw yesteryear.
Right.
It's very clean. It's very high tech. Automation, robotics. It's amazing what you see in those facilities.
Chris, we said you're just finishing up a massive renovation and expansion of your world headquarters there at 270 and Page. Why did you decide to stay in St. Louis? Why didn't you move to Canada? Why didn't you move to Mexico? Why didn't you take those manufacturing jobs to China?
Yeah, I think we have a global footprint, so we have factories all over the world. Part of our strategy, we're not going to be able to compete with companies in China on price. We are not going to win that battle. And so our strategy is really to come up with the most innovative and best products that our customers are going to value. And part of that strategy is we believe we have to manufacture those products as well. It gives us a differentiation. It differentiates us from our competition. And so we want that manufacturing close to where we're doing the development work because we believe they reinforce each other from a business perspective.
Don, both of you answer this. Take any listener and they'll tell you manufacturing jobs are running from America because, well, for all sorts of reasons. True, false? Where are we with the manufacturing world in this region?
We're seeing more and more of them come back. There's a lot of logistical issues and challenges and opportunities when you start outsourcing that type of work.
Right.
You're finding out that it's easier to do it here, and we're preparing students to be able to do that. So we're seeing a lot of that work that used to be outsourced come back to the United States.
Right.
Yeah, I think the media tends to focus when a factory closes down and moves jobs to Mexico or moves to China. You don't hear the stories typically of when the jobs are being created here in the United States. So I think people tend to get a one-sided view of what's going on in industry. Truly, manufacturing has shrunk compared to where it was in the 1960s and the 1970s.
Right.
But I think it is really important for our country to have this manufacturing base within our country.
Well, your company, Watlow, the manufacturing jobs you have today are very different than the manufacturing jobs you had 50 years ago.
Yep, and they continue to change as technology changes. Those jobs.
I mean, those jobs 50 years ago don't exist anywhere in the world.
Typically, no. Yep, they're all gone.
Right, and so the new manufacturing job and the new skills are what? What are you looking for? What are the new skills you need?
Yeah, I think the big part is, as Don mentioned, is kind of these middle roles. I would say they're technician level roles where before you needed people who were used to working with wrenches and screwdrivers to adjust equipment.
Right.
That's all completely gone. It is really going towards electronics and software. And so you need people who are comfortable in that environment versus turning a wrench and adjusting things based on feel versus having electronics really drive the manufacturing equipment.
Can you guys stay through the break? I don't know how much time we book. Can we can keep them through the break? So someone's listening to this, and do they come straight to you and say, hire me, or do they have to go to Rankin first? Do you teach them what they need to know? How does this work?
Yeah, so we started the partnership with Rankin probably in 2013. Maybe, and it's a combination of things. We started with just on-campus recruitment. We've evolved into really doing co-ops and internships. And so typically, they can either go to Rankin, they can go to Watlow, and we'll figure out how to get a fit with that.
Let's say somebody comes to you and can pass a drug test. Has a high school diploma. That's a big deal, right? I mean,
it is a big deal.
I have all sorts of construction companies say, give me somebody who's showing up on time and can pass a drug test. I'll teach them everything they need to know, right? So my question to you is, if a kid can pass a drug test, and wants to show up at 8 o'clock every day, are there scholarships? What do they need cost-wise to learn the skills for the job?
There is scholarships. We're accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, the same accrediting agency that accredits all your universities and colleges within the Midwest region. So you come in, you start the process. Federal financial aid is available. Those students that want to get a great career in technical education will find a way to make them successful.
Yeah. All right. That is Don Pohl with Rankin Tech. Chris Mallow is with us, Director of Standard Products for Watlow, which is probably one of the biggest St. Louis companies you've never heard of, right?
Yep,
I mean,
that's right.
That's safe to say. How many employees do you have here in St. Louis?
Around 500 in St. Louis.
And worldwide, how many do you have?
Over 2,000.
Over 2,000. They just built a brand new campus right there at 270 and Page. And we know you have tons of questions. Text message the questions if you have any questions, and we'll try and get to them in the next segment. 921 here, Big 550.